before we get into the NFL games this week, I know on your show, EJ with the Student of Game Report, Kyle, I know with you and Mikey on your show tomorrow, are going to do your midseason grades. So let's do it. I'm not going to go full midseason grades, over unders, any of that stuff. But let's look at the playoff picture in the NFL as we stand right now. So in the AFC, we have the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Jags, and the Dolphins sitting in the division champion seats. We have Steelers, Browns, Bengals as your wild card teams. Of course, the Chiefs would have the bye there. In the NFC side, Eagles, of course, in the number one spot. Lions, 49ers, Saints as your other division leaders. Seahawks, Cowboys, Vikings as your other playoff teams in the NFC. Let's start on the contender side. Out of the teams that in the AFC that are sitting in a playoff spot when we finish the second half of the season, what teams, and I even say outside of Chiefs, Ravens, and probably Jaguars, I think those are probably locks at this point. I don't think anybody's going to be afraid about locking them in.
Well, I don't know about locking the division for the Ravens just yet, but definitely
not necessarily division, but playoffs for sure.
Playoffs.
Out of the rest of those teams, Dolphins, Steelers, Browns, Bengals, who's definitely getting into the playoffs?
Bengals. And we should be answering. I'm speaking for the committee when I say the Bengals.
Yeah. I'm locked. Okay, so in terms of man, want to go first? Go ahead.
Who else on that would I lock in? I would lock in the Dolphins.
Okay.
For a playoff spot. Maybe not the East, but I think that they'll be a playoff team.
Yeah, if we're talking playoffs, forget divisions, all that stuff. Obviously,
yeah, we're talking playoffs.
So Casey's obvious. The 2 seed, the Ravens, they're a lock.
Ravens
in the playoffs.
Are currently the 2.
Jags will lock at 3. Dolphins will be a lock at 4. The wild cards when it gets really fucking interesting. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. Bengals, I'm locking them up. Locking them up no matter what. Whether they win division, they come back win division, or they get wild card, they're getting in. That's it. I'm not locking Wilson in the AFC. I had the Steelers as a 5 seed before the year started, but the way they've gotten there this year is not. I'm not so confident.
You wouldn't be the first time
they're finding ways to win games, though.
Yeah,
like they always do.
You want to bet against Mike Tomlin? You do that. I've only been brave enough to do it once, and I just happened to be right, and it was his fault for not starting Kenny Pickett.
I'll say this much: between the Browns and the Steelers, I have more faith in the Steelers getting in. So I'll put Steelers asterisk. You don't
have to make them a lock yet, though. Nobody's
right.
I mean,
I'm just asking teams that we think.
I guess the question, it goes back to what we said earlier on the podcast about Buffalo and their chances because of the schedule. Like, if not the Steelers, if not the Browns, who climbs into that spot that's below 7? Buffalo is a contender, obviously. You have Houston going in there? They're in the mix. The Chargers, they're in the mix.
Are you prepared to rule out the Texans? I'm not.
They're in the 9 spot right now. I'm not ready to lock them out.
CJ Stroud right now is probably a low-key MVP candidate right now.
Stop.
If they're gonna do it, I'm talking now. If they get the playoffs this year,
Rookie of the Year, yes. I'll say MVP, no, because I think there's other guys who are going to block him out of that spot.
If Russell Carrington Wilson couldn't get a goddamn MVP leading his team in passing and ground yardage in Seattle in 2017, CJ Stroud is not going to get
but
MVP.
They missed the playoffs that year. I'm talking about if Houston
Who
gets in
gives
the playoffs.
this shit?
Right.
He wasn't even in the conversation
if
in week
CJ
16 before they were actually eliminated in week 17.
But
So that's why the point doesn't hold, EJ.
But again, Kyle, if the Houston Texans, who were the worst team in football for the last 2 years, get into the playoffs right next year with CJ Stroud.
No, that's just actually
with his numbers too.
Actually, no, it's not. I'll put it this way: there's still time for him to be a candidate.
Thanks, EJ. And you're costing us viewers. Brian says he's turning this off because
it's the wrestling, Ryan. You don't know anything about football. Get out of here, Philly eye. Just kidding. Hey, birthday, buddy. Hey, birthday, buddy.
Ryan did have an interesting question or interesting thought on this. He says he's locking the division for the Miami Dolphins.
I would. I agree with him. 100%.
Good.
100%.
You know what? Looking at the Steelers' schedule, I'm locking the Steelers into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see what they got.
100%.
Jim, the reason having to play us put your start is because of the schedule. To Matt's point, so yeah, I'm with him.
I kind of agree with Mike. He would still lose to Lamar, Burrow, Hurts.
Here's the problem with that though.
Tyreek Hill.
But here's the problem he has going for it now. The numbers: 14 touchdowns, 1 pick so far. If that ratio plays out still to the end of the year,
he's not gonna be MVP.
Just saying.
Now, yeah, Steelers do have a besides 2 games against the Bengals, Seahawks, Ravens to close the year. Yeah, there's a lot of wins. There's still Packers, Browns, Cardinals, Patriots, Colts. Yeah, there's
I need to see Deshaun Watson play better.
But listen, with the Steelers, nothing's a lock. You got to remember, because Kenny Pickett throws them into games and throws them out of games. And if he gets hurt again and they have to go to Trubisky, they got real problems, as demonstrated.
Trubisky or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, that guy.
With the Browns, though, if I knew Deshaun Watson was playing better, I feel better about the Browns' chances of locking him up. But because he hasn't been good this year at all, I can't quite go there.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to lock the Steelers. I don't think I'm ready to lock the Browns into a playoff spot. Steelers likely to get in, but I'm definitely not locking them. Obviously, we don't have the full standings up on this screen. Who would you guys say in the AFC is the most likely team who's sitting outside the playoffs right now to get in? Is it the Texans?
I still say Buffalo only because of the fact that they are the better team of the bunch outside. But of course, the schedule becomes the issue. That's the issue. If you're asking me to, of the
30 minutes ago, gun to your head, you said no, they don't make the playoffs.
because that's my preseason prediction. But the problem is,
who's sitting on the fence now, motherfucker?
Saying
in the name of not
make the playoffs, but they're gonna make the playoffs.
In the name of not sitting on the fence, you got to take the Jets seriously because of that defense. Period. I don't think they will, but they're a threat. The answer is the Bills. Whether EJ wants to admit it or not, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But they did lose that must-win game last Sunday night, right, Jim?
Very true.
That is right.
I will say the other team, probably the Chargers, the big win last night. I said last night they didn't win that game last night.
You're not wrong, but damn it, it's so hard for me to take them seriously anymore.
EJ, but you're the guy that says the coach never get the wins, and now you're putting him in the playoffs. Come on,
I'm saying the schedule. That's all. They have to.
I don't care what's on the schedule. Your guy Staley could still blow it.
Yeah. I kind of agree with Ryan, not necessarily to the point about Josh Allen, because I still have my question marks about him, but I think Buffalo absolutely misses the playoff.
Well, to your point, I haven't missed before the year started. But
you just said they're coming to be in.
No. I said if of the teams likely to make it outside, who could make a jump? That'll be the team I would.
I'm on this side, and now I'm on this side.
So you're telling me that the Bills are going to be more likely than your MVP candidate, CJ Stroud and the Texans?
When look at the Texans schedule.
That's what he's saying.
I got the Bengals coming up this week. Must win.
Another game against the Jags coming up, right, guys? You know,
we went over the Bills schedule earlier, so I'm not going to do that again. Looking at the Jets, they have Raiders, Bills, Dolphins, Fraud Cons, Texans, Dolphins, Commanders, Browns, Patriots. There's winnable games there. A lot of for the Jets.
Texans game not winnable.
I still got them going to the playoffs, motherfucker. I said it when Rodgers went down, so I can't abandon them now.
That was Jim. I gave you a hard time, but I'm amazed with what.
Plus, Rodgers is going to be back.
He's rubbing ayahuasca on his Achilles. He's still possibly coming back.
Won't be that guy.
I'm just saying. I don't know what he's injecting ayahuasca or something into his ankle, whatever. But you know,
by the way, I see Ryan's comment. This is why I wear these during the show. EJ's flip flops. There you go. Okay.
I mean, he loves politics as much as he loves sports.
Relax.
Don't be rude.
The Texans have they're at Cincinnati this weekend, and then Arizona, Jacksonville, Denver, Jets, Titans, Browns, Titans, Colts. there's a lot of winnable games
Yes.
on that schedule for the Texans, man.
But they got to do it though. They have to do it and have to you got to trust them to do it also too.
You also
Young
have to be
team.
in oxygen. Yes, EJ, we're aware
Yeah.
of that.
So
Yeah. Absolutely.
By the way, for all the trash I talk, EJ, I have to repeat this compliment. You are, without a doubt, the best Trump impression from a black man I've ever seen. It's not
terrific job. Terrific job.
China.
All right, let's look at the NFC side. Out of the teams that are currently in the playoffs, I think we can safely lock Eagles, Niners, Lions.
No,
right?
no. The Eagles lose 9 straight. They're not in the playoffs. They're done. 8 straight, not in the playoffs. because fuck you, Ryan, and fuck you, Matthew.
Shut your ass.
So Eagles, Niners.
Crazy that they
Lions.
could. I mean, they can't. I guess lose 9 straight since they have 9 games left on the schedule.
I'll say
But
8-9.
Because math, bitches.
They could do that and still finish with a better record than the Giants.
Because true, no, but the thing is, they lose their Giants too. Because
if there was a
losing
Giants,
their Giants,
That's
losing
true.
the Giants at home will cost you 2 losses alone. That's why. Key point.
I think that's how that works. Yeah, I think-
that's a fine point, actually.
Cool,
What
cool.
point do you think,
Basically, we mathing here on Hello Podcast. We mathing here.
Are there any other teams that you guys want to lock into a playoff spot in the NFC outside of those 3?
outside of the Eagles, Niners,
Lions
and
and Niners.
I want to lock the Saints.
I'll agree with that, just
Yeah.
because of how bad the rest of that division is.
You know what? I'll screw it. I'll lock the Seahawks. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll even agree with that.
If Kirk Cousins was healthy, I lock all 7 of these teams right now.
Can we fucking go with that shit
Dead
again?
With
serious.
Josh Dobbs, they got a better shot than with coupons. That's what I'll say. So this is why you take it stupid.
Honestly, though, you look at the look
No,
at the
I'm
NFC.
lying. I think
No,
you're
real talk though, and this is why I think Jim's all Dallas things is ridiculous as hell. At this point with the NFC, the Cowboys can go 8-9, best of both worlds. Kyle gets his prediction correct, 8-9, and they still go to playoffs because of the fact that the NFC is so fucking bad below Minnesota.
You're not
I'm almost at a point now where I'm really, even with Josh Dobbs, locking all 7 of these teams because look below the NFC, below Minnesota. You trust in Washington? The Rams are the one team I was saying, oh, maybe, but they
How
just
can you
lost
trust
Stafford.
Atlanta? They're frauds. Anyways,
That's true.
Just saying.
Tampa Bay sucks. Green Bay sucks. Then
Thank
you get
you.
to the Rams, Giants, Bears, Panthers, Cardinals.
So at this point, I'm locking all 7 teams.
Okay.
I'm really mad at that. That's not your worst take, bro. I mean,
Sadly. All right, let's look at this.
for Josh Dobbs and then tell you no here. You know what I'm saying?
So outside of the current 4 division leaders and the Seahawks, right? And if we're eliminating Atlanta and everybody else on down,
Including the Giants.
that leaves Washington, who's currently in the 8th spot, to take it away from either the Cowboys or the Vikings. Okay, that's where we're.
Jesus Christ.
that's
You just
where
made
we're
that
at with the
a
NFC.
lot more compelling.
That's where the
Washington-
NFC sits right now. Okay, so the Cowboys, remaining schedule is Giants, Panthers, Commanders, Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders.
They'll get 3 wins out of that, guaranteed. Still in the playoffs. Still in the
Problem
playoffs.
is, it's only 3.
3.
8-9. Still in the playoffs.
Okay, so yeah, 3 would get you to 8 and 9. The Vikings, who are 5 and 4, so they still have a bye week coming up at some point. The Vikings have the Saints, Broncos, Bears, Raiders, Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions. Now, granted, week 18 against the Lions, how much are they playing for?
Exactly.
Hubba, yeah.
Jim. At this point, the only 2 teams, if we believe that Stafford injury is a real thing, because Carson Wentz got signed today by the Rams.
I mean,
Which-
all
if-
reports say that Stafford, the Rams are on a bye this week.
Mhm.
All reports have Stafford returning after the bye week.
Even
The,
so,
the Wentz signing is for their backup. They cut Brett Rippon today.
oh, okay. I didn't see that part.
Carson Wentz is the new backup.
Okay, that part I didn't see. I didn't see the ripping part. That being said, Rams bring 6. After this week, I'm pretty much out on the Rams. The only 2 teams that can even have a chance of leapfrogging the Vikings and or Dallas, depending on how you figure the 7th seed going forward, is Washington and Atlanta. That is it. That is
Okay.
it.
So here is Washington's schedule, since we're talking about them. Seattle, Giants, Cowboys, Dolphins, Rams, Jets, Niners, Cowboys.
They're fucked.
That's not the easiest road.
No, Giants are the only guarantee win there.
Yeah, no, actually, no. EJ's right. They're
They're
screwed.
fucked.
Yeah, that hurts. There's a lot of pain on that schedule.
Mhm.
There's two definite wins, right? Just two. The Giants and the Rams.
And
Maybe
even
the
the Rams
Rams
game,
could not.
and even the Rams could be 50-50 because of the Stafford playing.
All right, and then the fraud cons have Cardinals, Saints, Jets, Bucks, Panthers, Colts, Bears, Saints.
That is so Atlanta is the team that
They suck. They suck, but so does that schedule.
And Taylor Heineke's back at quarterback.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So I think the fraud cons are more in play than
The
Washington.
Vikings.
the Washington.
And so and I can't believe I'm gonna say this in the year of our Lord 2023. But even at 8-3, EJ might be right about the Cowboys. Or even at 8-9, EJ might be right about the Cowboys.
That's because he's a homer. He said that. Though.
Didn't I tell you in the text that 8 was the match
over.
number in the NFC?
Yeah, I didn't dig into it enough to realize how fucking bad the
Bad.
conference really was.
Yeah.
It stinks. So yeah, that is our playoff look. Yeah, AFC definitely is the more intriguing of the bunch as we head over the second half of the year. Of course, we will obviously pick all of those things as
Football fun. Football's fun. God, I love it.
it's the best and the worst at the same time.
Yes,
I mean,
it
of
is.
course you think football is fun. Your Heat season is over, so
This is true. Good job,
Better,
Vaughn.
Dwight.